One of the things that I've really had trouble with growing here on Vancouver Island are melons. I almost got one last year, but it didn't have enough time to get completely ripe before our first frost came, and so it was quite a bit of a disappointment. The part that was ripe was delicious, but half the melon wasn't ripe yet, so that was a bit of a disappointment. So I'm going to try something new this year. Last year I didn't get any, none of my seeds came up that I planted early. And so I didn't get any melons planted until, whatever, the end of May 24th weekend. That's usually when planting happens up here in Canada. I can do it usually a little bit earlier than that, but not by much. Anyway, the wonderful, wonderful Hickory Croft Farms sent me some Kajari melon seeds, and I have wanted to try these for years, since you know who over there on Roots and Refuge Farms said that they were her very favorite melons. And so I've been wanting to try them since then, and I had some last year and they didn't come up. So what I'm going to do this year, let me just flip you around and say, oh yeah, say hey, hi. Thanks for popping into my world, and I'm super glad that you're here. So what I've done is I've got a couple of paper towels wet, and I've put them, this is just a Chinese food container. I haven't put any holes in the bottom of it or anything. And so I'm going to do actually a pumpkin as well, because that was the other thing I found, was that my pumpkins didn't have enough time to sprout because I didn't have any of them come up early. So I'm gonna, test my seeds to see if I can get them to come up. And this apparently is a good way to test the germination of your seeds. I've got a bunch here, but I'm not sure how many of them are actually viable. Some of them are pretty skinny, so I don't necessarily know that they will come up. And so I'm just going to fold this over, and then I'm going to look for that pumpkin that I wanted, and when I find it, I'll be back to show you what kind of pumpkin it is. We have 3 different pumpkin seeds, one of them being this, Rouge de Thames, I don't know. I don't know how you say that. And then the other 2 are, I have no idea what they are. They just say pumpkin. I'm pretty sure that this one came from Gail Southern Living, so I'm going to leave her a tag. I'm going to try a couple of those, and so I'm just going to try to germinate 2 or 3 of each of these pumpkins, and we'll see what comes up, and then they'll all go in the ground, and we'll grow pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. Okay, so that is a bunch of pumpkin seeds. We shall see if any of them come up. Again, I'm going to fold my paper towel over top of this and pat it down on top of these seeds so that they have moisture touching them on both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on. Actually, I'm not going to put these in the light because I think that they're supposed to germinate better when they're not under the lights. For these, anyway. So, I don't know. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me, but that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to set them over here, actually, by my potatoes that I've got sprouting. These are going to go in the ground pretty quickly. Yay, they sprouted. This was thanks to Sarah. Sarah showed me how to wash these ones that were in the fridge that weren't looking like they were going to sprout. And so I washed these up really good and let them sit here kind of, I mean, they're not in the sun, but they're not like totally in the dark. And they are starting to sprout. So I'm going to be growing potatoes this year.
Isn't that lovely?
I brought you a root for sniffing.
A root for sniffing.
Yeah.
Is that a bean or something?
No, smell the stem.
I don't know what it smells like.
Pumpkin.
That don't smell like no pumpkin.
No. Squash?
No,
It's supposed to be pumpkin.
it doesn't smell like.
Did you like sniffing it though?
I don't mind sniffing it, but I don't like you sticking it up my nose.
Here, I'll
Guys.
hold it still and you sniff it.
It's like here.
Okay, I'll hold it still, you sniff it. Careful, don't squish it too much.
I can't.
You can't smell anything?
I know I smell something, but I don't know what it is.
Smells like springtime.
You've been back there smoking that stuff, haven't you?
I've been sniffing the roots. It's very delicate. I'm going to try and plant it. Hopefully it doesn't die from all my touching it. But look at this. Look at all of these that have sprouted. So I'm going to plant them. And I'm going to plant them the same way I did my tomatoes. Oh, but look at what happened. One of my lights died. One of my grow stars. And it's either one of them I just bought last May, and the other one is probably a little over a year old. But so I'm very disappointed. But I am going to look at it and see if I can figure out how to fix it in there. Because, I don't know, I did used to build computers, so we'll see. I've taken it down. It's in the other room. So I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to do. Look at all my peppers. These are all my Chris and Gina peppers from my Cosmic Cultivator peppers. They've all sprung up here. I'm so excited. And look at all my onions have come up. Well, not all of them, but a bunch of them. Yay! Okay, so I have another one of my milk jugs. Or my milk jugs, my ice cream jugs with the holes in the bottom. And I got my dirt wet. And I'm going to dump a couple of inches in here. So what I did here is I laid my seedling down with my roots underneath, and I left this little tip of green. Well, it's not green yet because it still has shell on it, but I put everything else under the dirt, and we're going to let that set, and we'll see what happens. It should. I'm hoping that I can get it to spiral around, and that everywhere it touches the dirt, that it creates more roots. That's what I've been told. So everything that's not a leaf that touches the dirt will create new roots. I hope. I think. That's what I was told anyway. So that's what I'm going on, and that's what I'm hoping for. So wish me luck. Okay, so here is something that I learned last year about my garden from, again, my dear sweet friend Bunky, who, by the way, is 8 years old and just an amazing gardener. So what I learned is that stalks and stems that have, if that'll focus, you can see how it has those little tiny hairs? So if those come into contact with dirt, they're going to make roots. So those types of plants, and now this is a new experiment for me, but it is based on this premise that when they come in contact with dirt add more dirt and they will grow. So one of the things I did that with was my melon seeds. It was my melon and pumpkin seeds. So let's have a look here. Here's one of them. And this was growing straight up, but it has now fallen over. And you can see that I've got this here that's touching the ground. And I'm going to cover that with some nice wet dirt. And there you go. I've now covered that stalk up with my fresh dirt, and it'll probably grow up again for a little while before it falls again, and at which point I will add more dirt, and then I'm going to continue building that all the way around this pot until, you know, for 6 to 8 weeks, until it's time for me to put this outside. So yeah, that's one of my experiments this year. I've never really grown pumpkins. I tried last year, had no success. I got them started way too late. Same with the melons. So this is what I'm trying this year. So I spent some time over the last few days just thinking about my garden and how much I love getting out into it and how it is one of my biggest and greatest sources of peace. And it got me thinking about some of the great things about gardening, including the smells. The smells are what make the gardening. So sniffing the roots and smelling the dirt and getting to know what just taking in all of that from your garden is just so important. And don't ever give that up. Don't ever give that up. If you've discovered gardening and you know that it is a balm to your soul, don't give it up. Don't ever give it up. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. And yeah, you don't have to be like me. You don't have to record everything you do about your garden and provide weekly updates and document your learning experiences, but you know, it is something to share with people. And I know that I am learning a ton about gardening. And it just makes me happy because the more that I can grow, the more money I'll save, for one thing. And yeah, it just pleases me to be able to sit out there in the garden and watch things grow. And so I'm super excited about the experiments that I'm doing this year, particularly the melons and my tomatoes. You've seen my cherry tomatoes. And I did the same. I don't know if I have video of it or not, but I did the same thing with my big tomatoes that I'm going to be planting. So that's exciting too. They're, I think, going to be starting to come up here any day now. I've got them in the new set of lights, which I'm going to show you in the next video. But anyway, I forgot to, of course, wrap it up. I always forget to wrap it up while I'm videotaping. So this is going to be it for today. And I'm going to say thank you very, very much for coming and hanging out with me. I do appreciate you every single day. And I will hope to see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye now.